If your child skipped crawling, walked early, or struggles with the focus and behavior, their brain might have missed critical developmental steps. And guess what? You can still fix it. Here's what most parents don't understand about how the brain develops. When your baby is born, they come with a set of primitive reflexes. These aren't random. They're the brain's training program. Think about it. You put your finger in a newborn's hand. They grip down hard. That's the palmar grasp reflex. And every time they squeeze, every time those muscles fire, signals shoot up into the brain. That stimulation helps the brain grow, mature, and develop. As the brain develops, it comes and shuts those reflexes down. That's the sign of a maturing nervous system. But here's the problem. A lot of kids never fully integrate those reflexes. They get stuck. And when reflexes don't integrate, the brain doesn't develop the way that it should. Now, what we need to know is that normal brain development follows a predictable pattern. First, the brainstem develops. That's why newborns can breathe. Their heart beats and they have reflexes. That's all brainstem. Then they start to move. They roll, they push up, they crawl on their bellies, then hands and knees. All that movement builds the cerebellum. That's a part of the brain that coordinates balance, posture, and muscular control. When they stand up and walk, the vestibular system kicks in. That's your balance center in your inner ear. Eye tracking starts to coordinate all these movements. All of these lower brain systems are firing signals up into the higher brain centers. And that's when the back of the brain starts to develop. Speech, language, processing. Then the frontal lobe comes online. Impulse control, emotion regulation, social awareness, the ability to calm down, think before acting, and read a room. But here's what happens when kids miss milestones. When they don't crawl, when they walk too early or too late, when they skip tummy time or spend too much time in containers. The foundation never gets built. And without that foundation, the higher brain centers struggle to develop properly. So, why does this happen? Sometimes it starts at birth. A difficult delivery, pulling, twisting, or torque on the neck. If the upper neck gets injured, the baby can't move their head through full ranges of motion. And movement is how reflexes integrate. No movement, no reflex integration. No reflex integration, no brain development. But it's not always birth trauma. Sometimes it's inflammation. The brain can't mature when it's inflamed. Food sensitivity, dairy, gluten, infections like hand, foot, and mouth, or other viruses in the herpes family, environmental toxins, the water we drink, the food we eat, plastics, chemicals in our air, or cleaning products, our laundry detergents. All of that creates a toxic burden. And when the body can't detoxify properly, the brain stays inflamed. Neurons can't function, can't develop. And then there's what happens after those first 2 years. Screen times, lack of movements, kids sitting inside on devices instead of running, climbing, biking, playing. The right side of the brain develops primarily through movement. When kids aren't moving, that side doesn't develop the way it should. And that's when you see ADHD, autism traits, social struggles, emotional dysregulation. The left side develops through different pathways. When it's underdeveloped, you see speech delays, dyslexia, learning challenges. Here's what you need to know. This can be assessed and it can be addressed. We can test for retained primitive reflexes. We can assess the cerebellum, the vestibular system, the eye tracking centers. We can find the asymmetry, the imbalances, the areas of the brain that didn't develop the way that they should have. And then we can stimulate those areas through specific movements, through targeted exercises, through chiropractic care that removes interference to the nervous system so the brain can actually do what it was designed to do. We're building the foundation that should have been built in the first 2 years of life. And yes, it's possible, even if your child is 5, 7, or 10 years old. So here's your takeaway. 3 things you can do right now. 1, if it has a label, it's not food. Feed your child real food, not processed chemically laden boxes. 2, get your kid moving, running, climbing, playing outside, hours a day. Movement builds the brain. And 3, reduce their toxic load. Filter your water, clean up your cleaning products, get the chemicals out of your home. And if your child is struggling, get them assessed because behavior isn't the problem, the brain is, and the brain can change.